Hello and welcome back to the infectious madness of Doctor Dekker. My name's Kalan and we have finished day 2. Let's continue and see what's held in store. Yes.
David Hunt.
I can change my skin.
Then skins.
Dr. Dekker dated his patients.
I had a hot date.
We went out for drinks.
I took photos of Jessica.
Dr. Dekker did phone
On Valentine's Day.
and ask me for Nathan's number. There was a girl there.
Am I wrong to keep the locket?
I'm allowed to talk to her, aren't I? He was preoccupied with finding
Photographs.
patterns.
Rocking chair.
I haven't been back to the beach since,
I had a bit of a shaky loop incident.
where I find something
I set fire
beautiful in the sea.
to Hannah's clothes in the garden. I dug the grave.
I wish I'd said goodbye.
Dr. Dekker cursed me.
It didn't weigh enough to have a body in it.
No. Oh.
Oh, Doctor, you surprised me. Reminds me of Officer Yates. Did I ever mention I had a special friend in the police force? Nah,
No.
it's not something you drop politely into a conversation. He's been doing some digging and he's found a couple things. There's a crime scene report that goes into all the gory details and another report that's about a patient you're seeing today, Claire. I'll put them both on the desk for you. And thanks for the grief counselling, by the way. It's really been helping, you know, I'm so glad you're here.
Ah. Fucking terrifying. You didn't have any grief, you were just numb. Yeah. I did like that. That was cute though. Okay, we're in. Oh, we got Prof Warwick. Oh, is that the crazy Cthulhu guy? Oh, I hope it is. He sounds cool. Right. Okay, we're on to day 3, and I keep on thinking that those, so at the end of day 1, at the end of day 2, there were, you know, the sequences from all the different conversations that the editors of the game can like mash together, and I don't know. It feels like there should be clues within those sequences. I have no fucking clue what they are. Let's first... Oh, your notes. The arrest report says Claire killed David. What? But... She said he was... Okay, I've underlined some things to ask her about. I wonder if Bryce buried David instead of Dekker, or... What happened with Ben? Ask patients about the paper spike. Too much to do today. Oh god, this is going to get crazy. She killed David... Okay. I thought she was over her whole killing thing, but maybe not. Let's go look at the clues. First thing then, Claire's arrest report. And let's do the crime scene report first. I'm going to save Claire's thing for after. So, crime scene report summary, 14th of Feb. Yes, doctor, no first name Dekker. Interesting. Position of victim, 69. The victim was located in his office, seated on a chair behind a desk, soaked in blood with obvious chest wound. Possible murder weapons. Paper spike, desk accessory. Oh, that's one of those things that's like instead of a box to file things away with, like restaurants have them, where you just have a stand with a spike that goes up, so you put papers like receipts on them and shit. 150 millimeters long, protruding from the approximate region of the victim's heart. If it actually was still, if it was still in the body, is that really possible murder weapon or just the murder weapon? Coroner's initial findings: time of death estimated from liver temperature measurements to be between 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. Note the victim's body was reportedly discovered at 10:20 p.m. on. So a lot of our patients have been discounted from this by saying they were busy. They have alibis from other patients. So either they were indeed not responsible, or they're covering for each other, and they're all in on it. Cause of death: exsanguination due to punctuation of the blah blah blah. Okay, cool. And then Claire's arrest reports. Statement of Christian Weber, police officer. To the best of my knowledge, this statement is true. At 8:40 on Tuesday, the 8th of November. So that's not recent. This is when she originally stabbed him. Myself. Also, her madness is that she thinks David's alive. That's why she was saying that he shouldn't be here. I thought it meant that she meant that he'd survived when he shouldn't have, as in like he's just miraculous survival. But what it suggests here, I'll continue reading in a second, is that she did kill him and she just believes he's alive. Or he is dead, but she's getting fooled by Ellen, who's transformed into David. Who knows? Myself and PC Holt responded to a call received from a neighbour. Who's got all these things underlined? Of the Bower House, Western Park Avenue, concerning a reported disturbance. We arrived at the address and knocked on the front door, but there was no reply. We then examined the rear of the property and gained entry through insecure patio doors. Is that illegal? We entered the property through this door and I announced myself, shouting, "Police!" but didn't hear any response. We searched the premises. Upon entering the dining room, I saw a female seated next to a man who was lying on the ground. The man did not appear to be conscious. Both persons were drenched in blood, and there was a substantial amount of blood on the carpet, walls, and furniture. Fucking hell. I noted what appeared to be a steak knife on the floor, which was also covered in blood. At this point, I asked the woman to put her hands on her head, which she did. PC Holt secured the female, while I checked the man for signs of life, but found none. I asked the woman her name, and she identified herself to me as Claire Castleford. I asked if she knew the dead man, and she said that it was her husband, David Castleford. I asked what happened, and she said she had killed him. Well, that's very upfront. Following the search by PC Holt, which revealed no other persons present at the house, I said to Castleford at 8:52 hours, "You are under arrest on suspicion of murder." Okay, so he is dead, apparently. Interesting. Well, I guess the first person we talked to, as the game has suggested, is Claire. Hi, Claire. You fucking crazy person.
I've been to the lake house regularly, keeping an eye on David. I saw the girl again, the one I told you about. She was playing outside.
So maybe we shouldn't have let her go and talk to the girl again. Maybe that would have been a smart thing to do. Because if David is dead, then who's killing the animals and skinning them and putting them in the lake house? Again, it could just be her lying or hallucinations or whatever. Is the girl a hallucination? Girl outside.
I didn't speak to her.
Here we go.
Something about her made me feel uneasy. I just watched her from the bedroom window.
Oh, because that's perfectly normal.
She'd caught a fish. She was holding it in her hands.
Okay. Fish in hands?
I wasn't close enough to see, but for all intents and purposes, it looked as if the fish bit her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive.
Okay, I have no fucking clue what that's about. Is that a rhyme? Okay, is that a rhyme? Okay, I'll read the whole rhyme out that she just said, or the lyrics or that she said there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go again. Why did you let it go? Because it bit my finger so. Which finger did it bite? This little finger on the right. And then it goes on to do the same thing with other sea creatures. Okay, so she was watching from the bedroom window. So she got inside. Last time she'd lost the key.
Oh, I found the key.
Oh, well, there you go.
It must have been there all along, in a drawer in the hallway. I could have sworn I'd looked there already.
Okay, drawer.
You don't have to analyze everything I say, Doctor. Sometimes a hallway is just a hallway. And yes, before you ask, the same goes for the drawer.
Okay, that was actually her answer. We've done all the optional things now. I was just curious as to what was going on with her. Now we should go and talk to her about the notes. You killed David.
That's what it says. I can see you're confused.
Yes.
The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead. Everyone says that David is dead. There was even a funeral. But I know he's alive.
You're insane?
Sorry.
Yes. But how do you know he's alive? He's alive?
You tell me. What could possibly explain that?
You are insane. I've been over
Try
this.
asking me.
I'm so confused. Okay, so let's go with the David thing. Fatally wounded.
David wanted to have a talk about our relationship.
So you killed him.
Not something any married person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her. He said he didn't love me anymore. Which I know is a lie. You don't just fall out of love with somebody. I reacted badly. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be the steak knife, and stabbed him with it. There was so much blood. I instantly regretted it.
It soaked into the carpet. It was a nightmare.
I fixed him.
What? Okay, we are going to ignore... This might jump around, guys. Just bear with me. But fixed him?
It was about a week later. I brought David back to life. Not with voodoo, not with virginal sacrifice. I just willed it to happen, and it did. Dr. Dekker told me it was possible, but only if you're not buried. He says once you're in the ground, there's no coming back. But until then, you have a chance at resurrection.
Okay, so I'm starting to believe... Well, okay, so there's two paths to every single person in this game. There's the path of logical science. If this was our world, they're all just fucking insane. Or, if we take what that Dr. Oldby said to Dekker in that video, that the Cthulhu thing is real, that chaos, and you just need to believe something and it will happen. Like Bryce started believing he'd have an extra hour, so he did get an extra hour. And I wish he would bring in some evidence of this, because he can really, really easily do that. But anyway, you know, if you believe that that this is real in this world, and you know, it's a video game, who fucking knows, could be, then it's perfectly logical that she could have brought him back to life. As long as it was out of sight and she could get a replacement body, hint hint, Dr. Dekker maybe not dead at this point, but as long as she could get a replacement body into the coffin, or some sort of weight to make it seem like that's the body, she could resurrect the guy and no one would be the wiser. It would also explain why David wasn't all there. He's a little bit like dumbed down now, because he's been dead, brain damage, etc. Although I'm not sure how long it took her to resurrect him. He could be really dumb. So yeah, this is her talent, it seems. Okay, so the resurrection.
Yes, resurrection. But now that I've seen the results, I don't think there's anything holy about it. I think reanimation is more an accurate term.
So he's a zombie.
Like, I'm an evil necromancer raising things from the dead.
Evil necromancer?
David was dazed and confused when I brought him back to life. As you'd expect. He was scared. He didn't want me to go near him at first, which is understandable, as I did kill him. But I didn't really succeed in bringing him back. He wasn't a big talker before, but even monosyllabic words were more than what he seemed able to give me.
Yeah, so he's essentially a zombie. Zombie?
Yes, he did come back to life, but
Hey.
he's not a zombie. He looks like he always did. Just his mind is encumbered. There's no way back.
Or is there? Okay, so there was a clue for results.
I think his brain
Okay.
was already decaying.
Yeah, here we go, is what I was
during the
saying.
week that he was dead. Important bits. So when I brought him back to life, I didn't heal him completely. Just gave him life in the state he was in. I mean, he's hunting and killing things and trying to roast them on fires he can only light with matches, but that's about it. He's your basic Neanderthal. So I have a problem.
Well then, surely, if you brought him back to life with the power of belief, you could give, like, once, if this was the true world, and I was in this world, and I was told by somebody to, like, I was shown, like, the power of chaos, and I brought back someone to life, I'd be thinking of all the other things I could do. These guys are all like, I could do this ability, or I have this extra hour. Surely, if the power of belief is all you need to gain results, you could do anything. She could bring him back. She could change his mental state, bring back the real David. You know, why are there these limitations? Okay, so what's her problem with David, apart from the obvious?
I'm being charged with murder because the police don't know he's still alive, and I can't get David to vouch for me for obvious reasons. I think it would raise quite a few more questions than answers.
Yes.
Which is why I'm hoping that you'd be able to help me.
Well, the only way you're going to get off with murder if I say that you're insane. If I don't say you're insane, then you can't produce David to tell the police. Because, I mean, you did kill him. I mean, the charge of murder is actually correct. Even if he's alive now, it doesn't mean you didn't kill him in the first place.
David shouldn't be alive, so he can't just stroll around the neighborhood. It's unseemly. I did think he'd be able to rejoin society at some point, but not anymore. He's getting worse, not better.
So he's decaying still then, it seems. I like that. It'd be unseemly for him to walk in. Well, it would do if he was carrying a deer carcass or something. So let's say she's being charged with murder.
Considering the circumstances, I'd be grateful if you could see your way to declaring me temporarily insane at the time of the murder.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
To lessen my sentence. Because I'm not a killer. But I can't prove otherwise.
Well, you are actually a killer.
You don't still think I'm a killer, do you, Doctor?
Yes, you killed him. It doesn't matter that you brought him back afterwards. He still died. He's probably going to kill me now. Oh, God.
At worst, it's manslaughter. I didn't mean to kill him. I just stabbed him a bit. And although he was dead for a week, I brought him back to life.
That is impressive.
Does this mean you won't help me? Was I temporarily insane?
I don't know about the temporary bit. That's the bit I'm getting stuck on here. Temporary or not. I mean, okay. God, this is a bit of a conundrum. Okay, so either she is insane. David's... Because no one, as far as I know, has actually met David yet. It's just her. She's either insane and he doesn't exist. And she's just insane. So she's permanently insane. Or she's not insane. She did kill him. And then she's trying to get me to get her off of a murder charge. But she did kill somebody. So, both of those are the only two options that exist. Otherwise, I'm just aiding a killer? Aiding and abetting a killer? Is that something I want to do? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to save that question for a bit. I'm going to look at the other thing, because we kind of jumped ahead the second I heard David was actually alive. Okay, she did mention a funeral.
He's buried at Henley Church.
Oh, God,
You
yeah.
can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face. You should ask him.
Bryce gets around. Yeah. So Bryce was the pallbearer, eh?
Bryce was a pallbearer for David. He's also a grave digger, I believe.
Indeed. Pallbearer. Hi, Bryce.
I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer.
Classically trained.
There are a lot of health and safety considerations. Not everybody can do it. Well, properly at least. Occasionally I step in if the funeral director is short-shouldered. I do remember her face. She wasn't upset in the usual way. She seemed agitated. Her husband must have been a giant. The coffin was so heavy. I remember because aft portside sprained his ankle. That and he wasn't lifting correctly.
I love it. Okay, so that was obviously Claire, who's referring to as she. Okay, in this game, I do believe that Cthulhu is real within this game. So I feel like as I'm starting to go down that path, I will declare her temporarily insane. Yes, I will declare you temporarily insane.
Thank you, Doctor. That's all I needed to hear. From you or Dr. Dekker. But Dr. Dekker wouldn't do that for me.
Oh, I've done the wrong thing.
He wanted something else.
What? Okay, what did Dekker want? What did Dekker want?
Dr. Dekker teased me mercilessly about my alleged ability. He didn't believe I'd reanimated David. Once, he presented me with a dead mouse and commanded me to give it life again. I didn't, of course. It's not something I'd throw around lightly. He changed his mind about me eventually. And then he mentioned the girl.
Oh, mentioned the girl. This is the one from Lake House, yeah?
He told me he'd locked up a girl in the basement of his house.
Okay.
Just for me. And he asked me to reanimate her.
What?
It was Iris. I said I couldn't reanimate something that wasn't dead, and he said that wouldn't be a problem.
Oh, wow, this
so
is
I
fucking...
agreed.
Whoa.
I just played along. I was hoping it wasn't real. I assumed it wasn't real. But he was offering me what I wanted. A temporary insanity diagnosis.
Okay, God, well, this is getting fucking deep. Iris?
It didn't happen.
Okay.
Dr. Dekker called me from his house to cancel. He was furious. He said that Iris had escaped and he blamed me for it. He said that I must have set her free after he told me about her. I knew it was all lies anyways. He was obviously titillating himself by reprimanding me. He knew I'd never want to speak to Iris again, so I couldn't prove it either way.
Oh, this is so weird. Okay. Oh, notes. Claire says the girl in Dekker's basement was Iris. Which, that note suggests that there will have been more talk about girls in Dekker's basement. Oh, this is so weird. Okay, why did Dekker change his mind? His mind about you?
Dr. Dekker asked if I could prove David wasn't dead, so I took him to the lake house. He saw that I was telling the truth. I can take you to see him too, if you like. Would you like to see David, Doctor?
Yes, that would make a lot of things more clear. Take me to... Especially if I'm giving you this temporary insanity thing. I might as well go fucking whole hog.
Very well. In our next session.
Okay. Will something happen to them in that time, I guess? Okay, so we obviously can't forget that our main goal here is to find out how Dekker died, as well as to care for our patients. But let's see. What do you know about the paper spike?
A paper spike is an odd thing to use as a weapon.
You'd know it. She'd know, actually, as somebody who kills someone.
I suppose if it went directly into the heart, it might work. Or through his eye, or perhaps through the ear into his brain. Or was it just a frenzied, bloody mess of a murder? Do you know, Doctor?
Yes, it went to his heart.
He was stabbed in the heart. Then I'd say whoever killed him didn't want to leave any room for error.
Thanks. From one murderer to talking about another murderer. Jesus. Okay, so let's ask Claire about the arrest report.
It makes for interesting reading, doesn't it? I can tell you're dying to ask me about it. Fire away.
Which I think we've done already, haven't we? Yeah, we already have that. We just need to ask that question to get the yellow colour at the end. The only thing we're left then is this pallbearer business. Okay, the latest hint, using a lot of hints for Claire right now, is that I ask how does she know Bryce? I'm pretty sure we've already asked this question. It just means we have to go talk to Bryce.
Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult.
Oh, no, okay.
Unless you pay the right people.
Ah, so this is something I need to ask Bryce about.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Doctor. I saw Claire Castleford's husband in the coffin myself before carrying him to the grave. He is in the ground. I'm sure it wouldn't take much for the police to get an order to have him exhumed. Just make sure it's done on Tuesday morning when I'm off.
Okay, so this is a direct contradiction. Claire says he smuggled the body out, but he claims no knowledge. Okay, so yeah, the Claire Castleford lines for now seems to be done. She believes David's alive, and we have the only proof that she says is that Dekker believes her because he went to visit David. Obviously, we're going to go visit him next session apparently as well. However, there's a contradiction in that she said that she paid Bryce to smuggle bodies, but he didn't smuggle them, he says. So this is a bit weird. Let's do Bryce next. We might as well. We're on a roll. Hi, Bryce. What's your problem today?
Hello, Doctor. I've been thinking about our last session, and I just wanted you to know that I'm not a bad person.
Well,
I know taking naked photographs is wrong.
Quite wrong, yes.
But you don't know what it's like until you face the same temptation.
It doesn't make you a good person,
I'm
though.
assuming you don't know what it's like. Do you have an extra hour, Doctor?
Ooh, I could say yes to this. But I don't. Do I say yes to this? I mean, yeah, fuck it. I'm going to say yes to this. Yeah, I have an extra hour, of course. Fuck it.
You're playing games with me, Doctor.
Yeah, I am.
I was going to tell you what I know about the murder weapon, but now, well, now you just have to go without.
Oh, well, fuck. Have I ruined things? No, I don't have an extra hour. Please, don't have locked it off for me.
No.
Oh, fuck. I shouldn't have lied. Lies get you nowhere. Murder weapon.
I overheard your assistant earlier. I know about that paper spike. It was sharp. What I really wanted to tell you was,
Oh, you're going to tell me anyway.
there's someone else in my hour.
Oh.
A hooded figure. Watching me and following me. I followed it too.
Oh, okay. This is interesting. Let's get this up. Followed hooded figure.
I don't know who it is. My initial thought was that it was you.
Oh.
That I told you about my affliction and somehow you'd got it too.
Oh, so it's only recently then.
Now I think maybe it's the military or some organization that wants to use the hour themselves. Maybe it's Dr. Dekker risen from the dead.
It could very well be.
I need to talk to you about him.
Well, we're not going to let the hooded figure go first. We'll go carry on with that. But maybe it is, because if Claire could reanimated Doctor Dekker quick enough, then he would still retain his powers in inverted commas. I don't think Dekker's dead. I'm really, really struggling to believe that Dekker's dead. Okay, let's finish the murder weapon thing first. See what he's going to tell us about the paper spike.
Dr. Dekker frequently used that paper spike on his desk as an example.
Example?
I'm sure he did it with the other patients too. He'd make me look at it, touch the point to see how sharp it was. He'd tell me that because I think it's sharp, it will hurt me. But if I thought it was nothing, it could pass right through my hand.
Oh, wow. Oh, pass through hand? Did he do it?
In the last couple of sessions I had with him, he put the spike through his hand. He'd be grinning at me while he was doing it. No blood, no nothing.
Wow.
He tried to make me do the same, but I wouldn't.
So, based on what I said earlier about the fact that once these guys all have their reticence, they have the extra hour, but they're not willing to give themselves other things. Whereas I was saying you could just do anything. You'd be able to give David his intelligence or put your hand through a paper spike, or all the way around. It seems like Dr. Dekker was on my line of thinking, and he fully embraced the chaotic powers that he believed he could give himself, and apparently maybe he did. It makes complete sense that hooded figure is indeed Dr. Dekker. Okay, so he's followed the hooded figure too. He's followed figure 2. See if we can get anything about that.
No. You have an interesting aura, Doctor.
So he can see the dead and auras. Oh, I want to see what this. Interesting aura?
I don't often see
okay.
auras, Doctor. Yours is unusual. Like, you're more than one person. Maybe I've had a few too many drams.
So he drinks, he sees the dead, he sees auras, and he has an extra hour. Bryce is weird. Okay, let's focus on the military. He thinks it might be the military or some shady organisation trying to steal the hour.
I'm surprised I haven't been approached earlier. I mean, my skills in the military. Special ops would be a breeze, wouldn't it? Waltz in past everyone during the midnight hour, get whatever you want, and return to friendly soil. It also makes me think that they might already know all of that, and that they want to get rid of me in case I tell anyone else. Would you do something for me?
Oh, this is the...
If they get me.
Like, this is the day where everyone's going to ask me for a favour, it seems. Yes, I'd do something for you. Well, it depends what it is, but sure.
Would you tell Jessica I love her?
I mean...
She didn't really know me that well, but I did love her.
Did?
And also, there's a hard drive in the bottom drawer of my drinks cabinet. Please destroy it. Please, don't look at it.
So I assume that's the pictures.
There's a hard drive with
yeah, there you
all
go.
the pictures I've ever taken on it. The one in the bottom drawer of my drinks cabinet. Don't let Jessica see it.
Okay, so yeah, that's just him tying up loose ends if he gets stolen by the military. I'm gonna ask him about Dekker. See if he's the one, the hooded figure.
I spied on Dr. Dekker not long before he was murdered.
Okay.
I'm not sure I should tell you what I saw in his basement.
Ah, is it Iris? So this is that kind of relates then to the note about Claire says the girl was Iris. Iris in basement.
I'd been feeling uneasy with Dr. Dekker for some time. I mentioned how he'd changed before, so I began spying on him at home. One night, the basement door was open, and Dekker was returning upstairs. I skipped past him, and there she was, a girl. It was difficult to tell. It was dark, and she was chained.
Right, okay, so it seems like Dekker was telling the truth about Iris being in his basement, but why would he steal Iris? Why would he think that Claire, because this is obviously what he's trying to prove, is that Claire could bring people back to life. Why would he think that she would want to bring Iris back to life? Why choose Iris? Girl chained?
I removed the chains, dressed her, and sat her in the police station. There's no evidence, though. No evidence of what he'd done. But she was free. I saved her. I'm not evil. I destroyed evil.
Oh, did he kill Dekker? He destroyed evil. If he thought Dekker was evil, he may have destroyed her. That would lend credence to Claire's story about Dekker kidnapping Iris and then her being freed. Back to the hooded figure. He followed it. Where did he follow it to?
Whatever it is that's following me, it doesn't want to catch me yet. If I move towards it, it runs away. And when I follow it past temptations. A bar brawl, an open till, an open bedroom window. Like it's testing me.
Interesting. Testing you?
I think that I'm becoming a good person, Doctor. I'm ashamed of some of the things I've done, but I'm getting better. The hooded figure, it's testing my morals. Judging me. For what? I don't know.
The game wants me to ask about the open bedroom window. I'm not sure why that one's relevant over the bar brawl or anything.
I looked in. Watching other people is somehow built into our genes, Doctor.
It can be quite fun.
There was an old woman in bed. I went inside.
So you...
Her bed covers were smoking. I think she'd fallen asleep holding a cigarette. I took the covers and put them in the bath. She'd have died otherwise. And no, I didn't take any pictures.
Okay, what about the bar brawl then?
I split the brawl up.
Ah. And the open till?
I did nothing. I'm not stealing any more.
Okay, so it seems like in this extra hour he is becoming a better person. Okay. Oh, trying to piece this all together. So the hooded figure, we think Doctor... So this is the end of this episode. Thanks very much for watching, guys. This may have been a very long one. It's definitely been a long recording. At the end of this one, we know that Claire did kill her husband, definitely, but then brought him back to life. But he's not all the same. But then she could have done the same with Dr. Dekker. Dr. Dekker kidnapped Iris for some weird reason. He kidnapped her instead of anyone else to Claire to test on. And then David and Claire kind of had a little bit of a falling out. Well, not falling out, but a contradiction about where they think if David was buried or not. Claire said Bryce was smuggling bodies. And then Bryce found another hooded figure, which I believe to be Dekker. Brought back from the dead. And he's becoming a better person. Oh, this is also weird. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Are the rest of them going to be this much? This kind of explosively draining? We'll find out next time. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you guys then. Bye!